Well, good morning. It's now Sunday the 9th of June, I think it is. It's 9:30 in the morning. It's already 70 degrees and welcome to Andy's allotment. A little bit of a change to normal today, because normally I take you around my allotment to show you how I'm doing, which as you can see everything's going green, everything's going on nicely. But instead of that, I've been asked if I can do a run round the rest of the plot and show you everybody else's allotments, as I've done a little while ago. I think it was end of March, beginning of April maybe. So, at the bottom of the plot here, we have a communal orchard area. The long grass there is the other side of the drainage trench that's been dug through my plot to get rid of some of the water, which is working wonderfully at the moment. Then again, with this weather we don't need much water. Much drainage, sorry. Okay, this is Tony's plot. Now he's gone for raised beds using pallet collars, and he's covered them over with debris netting and blue poly pipe in a similar method to mine, but not quite the same. He's got lots of potatoes in here, lots of brassicas, everything's coming on fantastic, and not sure those are potatoes, but whatever they are, they're flowering. He's got onions, all sorts in here. Now this plot here is Dawn's. She's got lots of rhubarb at the top, huge bed of onions, and a couple more beds of some sweet corn in there. I think those canes are there designed to stop everything coming in and eating her corn. She's got an area there which she hasn't developed as yet, but it's coming on well. Next plot over is Len's. Lovely neat rows, well laid paths, nothing like my paths. As you can see, he's got lots of shallots and onions in there, got brassicas in there under cover. He's got big fruit trees in pots at the back there. Potatoes coming up well. Nice, very nice. Okay, now this corner here is Michaela's, and she's on here with her Uncle Dave, I think it is. Got loads of strawberry plants. Michaela's the one who gave me handfuls of her spare plants. Got some onions, some sweet corn there by the looks of it, chives, all sorts of lovely stuff here. Now she's also asked to have a bit more space on her allotment, because she's only got this tiny triangular piece here, which wasn't really a plot when we first started, but it was decided it was just too much and too good to waste, so she's now got this. What she's also got is this bottom corner. In a straight line from where I am here now, the bottom triangle is now hers. Down to where that tarp is, the other side of that I think is where it ends. And she's got that for the rest of the year to see if she can make a go of it, because the ground under there isn't particularly brilliant. If she tries it for a year, decides that she doesn't want it, she can hand it back. It's not costing her anything this year. If she decides she wants to carry on, then she'll be charged rent from next year onwards. But give her a chance to get started and see if she can do something good with it. Okay, moving up the plot, back up here. This next plot we're going to go past is Diane's, and Diane's been on here one of the longest, so has got quite a lot of established stuff. She does like her fruit. Lots of rhubarb, black currants there, lovely chive flowers, sage there by the looks of it. I think there's a few in the middle, mixed into the middle of it. Potatoes grown in straw, a few pallet boxes, huge amounts of comfrey, broad beans, loads of flowers, far in front of mine here. I'm not sure if she's growing buttercups or not. Loads more comfrey, more broad beans with purple flowers. Interesting. And she's got some brassicas on the netting and a mini polytunnel thing, walking greenhouse, and more comfrey. Black currants, raspberries, rhubarb, more broad beans, white and purple flowers, or pink flowers. I say with Diane it probably is pink. And willow bean frames, willow beans just coming up them. Now this section here is Jim's. Now they've got a raised bed with a bit of everything in it. We've got some black currants, some rhubarb, onions, brassicas, all sorts in here. And then potatoes and broad beans in the second raised bed there. At the moment this is as far as his area goes, back to those piles of wood there. He's got a shed and a base ready to go on, but Jim broke his foot a little while back, so he's been struggling a little bit to get down, but he's come down, done what he can and kept it tidy, which is great. Once he's recovered I'm sure he'll get on well with it. Okay, next plot here in this little stretch, this half plot, is Ian's. Little slow start for Ian this year, but he's come on well now. Loads of brassicas in there. Looks like a lot of his stuff has gone to seed there by the looks of it. I'm not sure if that's deliberate or not. Onions at the back and loads of potatoes looking good. And then he's got his little fruit bed, currants of some sort, and some rhubarb. So again, a lot happening, doing well. Okay, on this side with the polytunnel cloche type things, this is John and Angie's, and there's loads of stuff going on in here. Can't see underneath the that one because it's all condensed up. I'm not going to lift it up, I'll leave it as it stands. There's got loads in here. Looks like there's carrots in there, there's beetroots. I'm not sure what else there is in there. And at the back I can see more beetroot, I think. Some Brussels sprout. No, I can't want Brussels sprouts with John, he's got a phobia about Brussels. I'm not sure what else is in there, to be honest, whether that's crop or weed I can't really tell at the moment. He's got some strawberries. And then these are all his potatoes at the back here. Lots and lots of potatoes, some cracking ones there at the back. Really coming up strong. And then some others throughout the plot here. Okay, top corner. This is our chicken man, this is David. He's got the entire area here. Not sure if he's got anything in here. He's got strawberries, definitely, I can see strawberries here. Not sure what that is, but I can see some raspberries on the far side. I think this basically just needs a weed out and a clear out so we can see what's planted and what's not in there. But he's got half a dozen chooks. When he's on, they come out and roam and scratch and peck up and do generally a good job. And all this back corner here is his. Down to the rhubarb, I think, which is gone to seed wonderfully. I've not seen a flower spike on rhubarb like that for quite some time. Quite impressive. Okay, move on a little bit further. Go across the car park. Now, one of the problems with this site is that we don't have water on tap. We're reliant upon the rainfall, filling up 3,000 litre IBCs here, as you can see them there. The problem is that because we've had no rain, they are getting empty. In fact, they are pretty much empty, and that's basically it. So we're going to struggle for water for a little bit, unless we can persuade one of the houses behind us to give us some. But overall, not brilliant. We shall see. Okay, now this is Stuart and Sue's plot at the top here. There's Stuart weeding away. Got brassicas, bed there, ready for stuff to go in. Lettuce, brassicas, by the looks of it in there. Potatoes, black currants and rhubarb. Now, this is a new plot holder, only been with us a while. This will be Ian. Coming on great, digging it over, keeping it free of most of the weeds. A little bit at the top here needs to be finished off, but that's great. And he's got a little friend, and you can see that. Little friend coming with some potatoes by the looks of it. Got some beans there on trellis, and not sure if those are baby rhubarbs by the side of it. But overall, good start. Now this is Steve's plot. Look like sweet corn in there. Some rather nice brassicas coming on with some onions. Or are they leeks? There could be leeks actually. A few bits at the back. Tree, shed. Lots of onions coming in here. And a cold frame at the bottom. Now then, we have a plot here which is Clara Marks. Got like compost bins ready for composting stuff. We have got some beds laid out, raised beds, ready for going. Cardboard being put down inside them to kill off the grass. So it looks like they're probably going to lasagna this lot, which is great. Good to see things moving on here. It's they've not been able to do a lot for a while because Claire's not being well, but it does look like now they're actually getting on with it, which is fantastic. And pretty soon we should have some crops in here. Now they're starting a little earlier than I did last year, so I know what's possible. So I know they've got a good chance of getting some really good stuff out of this year. I think they may have to go for plug plants perhaps at this time rather than seeds for your brassicas and things like that. But at the end of the day, as long as they get stuff in, it doesn't matter where it comes from. I've got an existing couple of beds here dug. Don't think there's anything in there at the moment. I think they're just buttercups. I could be wrong, but I think that's what there is. And they've got a shed. Okay, we'll move down the back here. Now this back corner here is David Jones's plot. Now David used to be a horticultural teacher, I believe, so we're hoping he's going to be able to teach us a thing or two about growing. Looks like he's got something being trained along a trellis there. I'm not sure if that's a blackberry. Looks like it might be. I don't think it could be a grape actually. I hope it's grapes because I'll have to go in grapes and I could do with some help. Okay, some strawberries, his compost bin, and then at the bottom down here there he's got a little polytunnel, same as mine pretty much, just that his openings are further down the side, mine are further up. Field of onions, always that leeks. And David gave me a handful of his spare leeks and brassicas when he was setting up. He'd been to France to see his relative and come back with a load of brassicas. Okay, this plot is Pete's. Lovely and neat. Rows and rows of potatoes, beetroot, some rhubarb, strawberries, brassicas. Looking good. A bed of onions. This half plot here is Ken's. Greenhouse with quite a lot of stuff in there, still waiting to go out. We've got tomatoes in pots, growing up canes, rhubarb, blackcurrant, a couple of small fruit trees, fruit bushes. Got carrots there in the open. Well, we'll see how he does. And some more cabbages, I think, things there. Over there by his shed, or his little sentry box as we like to call it. There's sweet corn, broad beans I can see over there. On this side is all his potatoes. That's one thing that most people on this plot do seem to grow a lot of his potatoes. Nothing wrong with that, I've got loads on myself. And he's got lots of onions here. I don't know if you can see that on here, but some of his onions are throwing flower spikes out already. Whether they're getting stressed with not being watered, I don't know. And then I think this is the final one for now. This is Terry's plot. Again, he's got 3 beds, possibly 4 beds of potatoes on here. He's got some fennel, I think that looks like, or is it asparagus? Could be asparagus. And a space is dug out for noisy geese on the canal. Space is dug out for a shed base. I think he's intending having concrete poured into that and putting a shed on top of it. And he's got some trees and bushes there in their pots. And then we're back to my plot. I'm not going to show you on my plot just now. I've got work to do on it, and I'll probably show you afterwards. So that's all for now, and I hope you enjoyed the run around Cartmel Crescent allotment to see what other people are doing. It's always interesting. And so a couple of people have asked me to do the run round, so I've done it. And lovely, quiet Sunday morning. Just 2 of us on at the moment. I'm running late because I've been to a car boot sale to get some tools and whatever, which I'd recommend, by the way. If you have a car boot near yourself, go early and see if you can pick up some tools. Today I picked up a spade, a hoe and a rake for £5.10 in total. And they're all decent quality stuff. In fact, the hoe's quite good quality, just a bit rusty. And I got that for 50p. So it's worth going. If you need some tools, go and have a look at your local car boot. And even if there's nothing on, it gets you out in the sunshine early in the morning. You can go down to the plot afterwards, nice and early. Anyway, I'll speak to you later when I've done something on my plot to show you. Bye bye for now. Now, good evening. It's now 8 o'clock on Sunday the 9th of June. And I'm Andy, this is my allotment. I did an earlier video today when I did a spin round everybody else's plot on the allotment, but now it's time to show you what's been happening on mine since the last time we spoke last week. As you can see, the potatoes are doing fantastically. Still got the same problem I had with the two pots on the end, doing worse than all the rest. Can't explain why, don't really know why. The first two rows, first row is Mary's Piper, second row is Anya, all put in at the same time, at the same time as in here as well. The first row there is Mary's Piper, the next two here are Anya. As you can see, they're doing very well, but not in the bucket on this end for some reason, don't know why. Anyway, moving on. In this bed, which I'm doing square foot gardening again, we have some carrots on the right hand side. I don't know if you can see them in there coming through. Then we've got onions, some beans which are dwarf French beans, I believe. These are Mr. Fortune beans, I think they're dwarf. One of them's dwarf, one's climbing, Mr. Fortune, Mr. Ferns, I can never remember which one it is. If they turn out to be climbing, I'll transplant them. Turn out to dwarf, fantastic. Beetroot cylindra, doing well. Now this is supposed to be dwarf French beans, but not a single one's come up, so maybe they're duff seeds, I don't know. Lola Russell, and some pak choi which I just put in today. Underneath the netting we've got perpetual spinach, which doesn't need to be under the netting, but the netting's there because I've got, as you can see here, broccoli. Lots and lots of purple sprouting broccoli, some which is becoming yellow sprouting broccoli at the moment. Well, never mind. Then down at this end, the swede in there. Now there's one little thing coming up, I'm not sure if that's a swede as I've never grown it before. I'll find out if it grows bigger. And these are Mr. Fortune beans. Now this morning there were 3 of these up. There's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So as I only put 12 in there in the first place, I think they're doing pretty well. Next one over, more carrots. Now these are, oh no sorry, these are spring onions, white Lisbon spring onions. That's where the carrots are at the back there. Radish, more pak choi. Underneath the netting on this side there's peas, spring onions, radish and lettuce, saladin lettuce, which look really nice. Now then, what else is new? Fruit bed, nothing new in here apart from lots of weeds. Gooseberries are doing absolutely fantastic. Now my gooseberry at home has had an attack of I think it's sawfly, and every leaf has been stripped pretty much. I found them yesterday and I must have got 200 caterpillars off one bush. I'm going to go back tonight and hopefully find the rest, because it seems that they climb up the leaves and end up at the top of the stems. So I'll just basically check at the top and see where they've got to and get rid of them all again, hopefully. Onions. Now these are actually doing quite well, the ones that are left. The disappointment is that this is all that's left from over 100 onion sets that went in October, I think it was. I had 2 rows of white, 2 rows of red and a row of garlic in here. And as you can see, it's pretty sparse, very disappointing. Not sure whether it's because they got by the slugs, whether the weather got them, or whether I just planted them wrongly, I just don't know. Now this bed, this is the one that had all the cabbages in, they've all gone. We've got some perpetual spinach which is about to go to bolt, and what I'm going to do with that is just trim off all the tops and give it a really good haircut basically, eat the trimmings, and whatever's left over will just simply keep on growing. It's a fantastic plant, I love it to bits. Onion there, big red onion from last year, never really did anything, never bulked out. There's no bulb at the bottom, I've had a little fertile round and it just goes straight down, but it's going to seed. Now never had an onion go to seed before, but I've seen them and they look absolutely fantastic. There's another one behind it, a smaller one, you can see the seed head on that there. Looking forward to that and seeing how it does. Comfrey plants, doing rather well. Lots of purple flowers coming on there now, which is wonderful to see. And my walking onion, oops, falling over, walking onion or Egyptian tree onion. Now it's starting to get proper bulbils on the top. And as you can see, what happens is they come out, they sprout out, and you can eat those like spring onions. Or you can leave them and get seeds off them again. Either way, looks pretty good. Under this one, my spring cabbages, which are absolutely fantastic. going really, really well. We're harvesting one of those tonight, taking it home from my stepdad. There's purple sprouting broccoli under there as well. Now there's some plants in here which I think were supposed to be collies, but they've got no heads on whatsoever. They've not even done a thing. Lovely leaves, cracking big leaves, but nothing really happening. So going on holiday in a week's time, so I think they're going to come out before then, because I don't know, I might bring them out or I might leave them. I really don't know yet. Right, into the sunlight. New for today, I made 2 more frames to cover the brassicas, which I don't know if you can see them underneath there in this light, but they're doing quite well. Oops, climb into the darkness so you can see a bit better from this end, I think. Yeah, I've got some, I think there's Brussels sprouts at this end and some broccoli. And at the top end there's red cabbage and more Brussels sprouts and more broccoli. Now one other thing that I've been working on today, I've been promising for months and months, my bean arches are ready and they look terrible. The first one at the far side was the one I did at first, and it looked really good and it worked wonderfully, and then after that every single thing I did broke, twisted wrong. Very Heath Robinson at the moment, but they're in, and once I get them up and running properly with the beans which I've got planted at the bottom, I've got Scarlet Emperor beans on this side, they're already in. They were growing in my root trainers, just ready to come out with lots of roots coming out the bottom, so they should hopefully do well. Now I planted 2 per station all the way along, so there's 12 in there altogether. Some of them had a couple per pot already, so there might be 13 or 14 plants in there, so that should be plenty for me. On this side I've just planted the seeds of runner bean enorma. Now I put 3 to each of these stems, so there's 15 in there altogether. I'm hoping that these are going to come out quite nicely, and the idea is that I'll have white flowers on this side, I believe enorma's white flowered, and red flowers on the other side. I'm eating at the top with all the fruit, or beans rather, hanging down the inside, making it lovely to harvest. We'll see. What else to show you? I'll show you inside the polytunnel very quickly. There's not a huge amount going on now. I'm trying to get everything out of here as fast as I can, because as I say, I'm going away next week and I want to get as much of this stuff out of here as I can do. Got some Lolo Rosso lettuce in there still, and some cauliflowers. They need to go out. I'll put the cauliflowers under the netting I've just shown you with the rest of the brassicas. Some saladin lettuce and some onions. I'm going to fill the gaps in the onion bed with all these onions I've got in here. I'll show you the rest of it in a minute. I've got another 3 trays full still to come out. Potatoes, Maris Piper and Casablanca, doing absolutely brilliantly. These are the best potatoes I've got going at the moment. Obviously they've got the heat inside the polytunnel and they're in bags, and so they're doing fantastically well. I brought some tomatoes from home that weren't doing particularly well. I've got 5 there, and there's another 3, 6, 9 there. They're all different varieties, and another one on that tray as well. All different varieties. I'm just hoping they'll do something. This tray I've got 4 peas, 2 big sweet corn and 5 little sweet corn, because I had to reseed them because they didn't do very well. Right, let me just get down here a little bit. Right, underneath there's some 2 lots of spinach in there. There's some asparagus peas at the front, and there's beetroot, I think it's Boltardi under there. Various herbs on there. I've got chervil, lemon basil, thyme, parsley, all sorts under there. I've got some little gem lettuce at the back there, got to go out, and again some herbs, etc., and some chard at this end. There's calabrese there, and one lonely little zucchini at the back. Sage, fennel, not fennel, sorry, dill, lemon balm, marjoram, lemongrass, all sorts on there, and 2 lonely leeks on the tray. That's all that's survived from that old tray. Didn't do well my sowing of early leeks, to be fair. I have got some more sown in one of these trays, but I'm not sure which one it is, and I can't be bothered looking for it now because it's just a waste of time. Okay, tomatoes. 3 different varieties of tomatoes, all with flowers on, doing rather well. And then my polytunnel, I'm in the poly, 4 different varieties of chilli. Flowers at the moment on 2 of them, other 2 are getting rather tall but no flowers. Mizuna has obviously had a new lease on life. A lot of that has got to go out because it's suddenly gone berserk. various herbs, etc. in here, and another tomato, which is Roma tomato, which is starting to get quite nice. Right, pumpkins and courgettes and onions. Now the pumpkins and courgettes in here are a bit of a mystery. I know there's one pumpkin, I know there's 2 zucchini courgettes, and I know there's 1 Nice à la ronde. The problem is that when the polytunnel blew over a couple of weeks back, these were the ones that fell out. I lost all the labels. So I'm basically hoping that one of them is suddenly going to take off and I'll be able to recognise it as a pumpkin. Not sure at the moment which is which, but it's going to be fun finding out. And as I say, lots and lots of onions down there at the bottom. All these have got to come out. 3 trays of onions and a full tray, or 3/4 of a tray shallots. Now, all this lot's got to go. And I've also got some seed potatoes left, some bambinos. What I'm going to do with those, I'm going to put them into potato bag rather. And I'm going to try the new way of doing potatoes, which is where you put 3 or 4 in the bottom, about 6 inches in, put about 12 inches of compost on top, put another 3 or 4 in, put another 12 inches of compost on top, and basically fill it right to the top and leave it. And the idea is that everything grows up through the soil. You don't have to earth it up, so there's less labour, easier to get to, because it's been a real pain earthing up some of these bags through the foliage. And we shall wait and see how it does. Now then, temperatures of today. Bear with me a second while I get over to this thing. Right, as you can see at the moment, we're on 16.4 in the trolley tunnel itself, and 17.2 in the little mini greenhouse. I've got one of these temperature probes in there. This is how hot it's been in here today, and the gate doors have been open all day. 41.1 in here, 47.9 in there, and last night it was 5.4 and 5.7. Let's reset those. So they're all reset now, ready for tomorrow. That's quite warm, 44. When I came in here on Friday, the temperature in here was 54 degrees, which is, by my reckoning, about 130 in old money. That's hot, by anybody's standards. That is hot. Anyway, I'll not show you the rest of the polytunnel because it's a mess. Just give you a quick scan round from the view from the polytunnel door, and then we'll call it quits for today. Oh, before I go, just wanted to say that I've now reached the dizzy heights of 75 subscribers, and I've had 2,500 views, which is absolutely incredible. I never expected anything like this when I first started doing these. I did these for my own purposes, but it seems that people like them. So if there's anything you want to know more about, if you've got any comments at all, please leave them below. As I said, I did have a request to have a scan round the rest of the allotment, which I've done this morning. So if anybody's got anything else they want to know about or want to look at in more detail, because I do go through things very quickly because there's just too much to show you all on a daily basis, or weekly basis rather. But if there's anything you want to see, just let me know. I'm a slave to my public, what can I say? Anyway, that's enough for now. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.